Imagine this. You're born into a world of rules. Work hard, be kind, obey the law. From the first breath, you're taught to believe that goodness leads to greatness, that the fair are rewarded and the selfish fall. But look around. Is that the world you see? At the top of every empire, every industry, every institution, stand not the most virtuous, but the most strategic. The bold, the cold, the unapologetically ambitious. The world tells one story, but reality whispers another. So here's the question. Why does power so often belong to those who abandon the very values we're told to cherish? Because the system we live in wasn't built to elevate the good. It was built to be conquered by the strong. This isn't a flaw. It isn't corruption, it is design. To understand why, we must walk through history with open eyes and step into the darker chambers of human psychology. We are raised on a myth that success is earned by effort, that the best rise naturally, that justice will triumph eventually. But the truth, power is not something you earn, it's something you seize. The throne does not go to the kindest heart, it goes to the sharpest mind. Not to the honest, but to the bold. Not to the fair, but to the fearless. Think about it. Why do tyrants rise faster than reformers? Why do those who bend the rules, or break them entirely, climb higher than those who follow them? Because power rewards results, not righteousness. The world is not governed by morality, it is governed by leverage. Look back. The leaders etched into history, Alexander, Catherine, Genghis, Elon, were not saints. They were strategists. They made moves others feared to. They sacrificed what others couldn't. They understood a brutal truth. The path to the top is not paved with virtue, but with decisions others aren't willing to make. Not because they're cruel by nature, but because they're willing to be cruel when it counts. That is the edge. That is what separates those who rule from those who serve. We live in a system that teaches obedience, but rewards dominance, that praises humility, but elevates audacity. We tell our children to play fair, while the world crowns those who rewrite the rules. Loyal workers are discarded when costs rise. Honest citizens are bound by laws the powerful bend. Fairness is preached, while backroom deals shape policy, wealth, and fate. You are told to wait your turn, but those who rise never wait. They take. Friedrich Nietzsche called it long ago. Morality, he said, is not divine. It is engineered by the powerless to protect themselves from the powerful. The weak cannot fight strength, so they label it evil. They cannot ascend, so they worship humility. They turn obedience into a virtue, because rebellion would mean ruin. This is slave morality, a system designed not to reflect truth, but to maintain the status quo. But there's another kind, master morality, the code of those who do not follow values. They create them. The strong define their worth by action, not approval, by creation, not compliance, by vision, not validation. They rise not because they are chosen, but because they choose themselves. Nietzsche called it the will to power, the deep primal drive to shape reality according to one's own design. It's not about violence, it's not about cruelty, it's about agency. The refusal to be confined by the values of a society that punishes difference and rewards obedience. Those who channel this will bend culture, politics, and markets. They reshape the world, not because they're allowed to, but because they refuse not to. And yet, with great power comes something few speak of: isolation. To rise is to leave the herd, to think differently, act boldly, move against the grain, is to walk alone. It is not easy, it is not safe, but it is real, and those who walk that path must understand what it demands. So what separates those who rise? It's not just intelligence, it's not even ruthlessness, it's a constellation of traits, rare but not unreachable. Ambition, Not vague dreams, but burning purpose, a refusal to settle, a hunger not just to have more, but to be more. Decisiveness. Hesitation is death in the world of power. While the masses ponder the powerful act, they move, they adapt, they seize the moment because they know it won't wait. Risk tolerance. Those who rise are not fearless. They feel the fear and move anyway. They understand. Safety is an illusion. Comfort is a cage, and fortune favors those who step into the unknown. Strategic thinking. The most powerful are not reckless. They are calculated. They know when to follow rules and when to set fire to them. So here is the cold truth. The world does not reward kindness. It does not reward honesty. It does not reward virtue. It rewards power. And power rewards those who understand how it works. You were not born to follow. You were not born to obey. The question is not whether the world is fair. It's whether you are willing to rise above it. Will you remain a prisoner of the values handed to you? Or will you create your own? History does not remember the quiet. It remembers the daring. The ones who broke free. The ones who rewrote the game. The ones who stood alone and bent the world into something new. Power is never given. It is taken, and only those bold enough to reach for it will ever hold it. But power, once claimed, brings a new challenge. How do you keep it without losing yourself? Rising is one thing. Surviving at the top, that's another game entirely. So if you're ready to dive deeper, to understand the psychology of staying powerful in a world that wants to tear you down the moment you rise, then click on the next video. We'll explore how rulers fall, how power corrodes, and how to wield it without being consumed by it. Watch now, because those who understand power don't stop at the climb, they master the crown.